Hello, everyone. Stand by a second. There we go. Hello, film fans. It's an exciting day here in San Diego and indeed all over the world as we anxiously await the drawing for the group stage drawing for the Global Film Challenge. I'm Dwayne Trammell, city producer for the San Diego 48-Hour Film Project and the 4 Points Film Project worldwide. With me today is Robin Sarvis, my fellow 48-Hour Film Project and 4 Points Film Project producer.
Hi, everybody. We are thrilled to be bringing you this drawing live across the globe, and we want to send a very special wake-up welcome and a strong cup of coffee to our 48-hour filmmaking family in Australia, where it is currently the middle of the night, but hopefully they're up with us. Before we get going with the drawings and bring in Mark Rupert, the creator of the 48-Hour Film Project, let's take a few moments to thank our sponsors.
We are grateful to CG Creative Studios for providing us with the studio space and equipment, and importantly, bandwidth.
Hello, future, and hello to everyone out there joining us on this global live stream.
Yeah, if you're feeling now, then light it up, light it up, light it up. And if you want it now, let's turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. We are unstoppable when we come alive. Okay. We are a brand new nation shining a light. Where my people at? Where my lovers at? Where my movers at? Yeah. Let's do it. This is our world. This is our life. This is our movement. This is our time. This is our time. A new nation. This is our time. A new nation. We are young. We are bold. We are strong.
There we go. We are grateful to CG Creative Studios for providing us with the studio space and equipment so we can bring this event to you today. And bandwidth. Bandwidth is so important these days, don't you think?
Yes, it is.
So please enjoy this. Well, you just saw the video about the creative services that CG Creative provides, and that is cgcreativestudios.com. And CG Creative Studios can provide not only for your business in this digital world, but into the future.
So we'd also like to thank Joe Castano from Chill Events for being our technical director for today's event. Chill Events provides live streaming services and digital support for events, and you can visit them online at Chill Events, that's CHIL events.com, and hope you enjoyed this little video about Chill Events.
All right, thank you, Chill Events, and Joe Castano working behind the scenes really hard to make sure that this stream comes off well. So as we mentioned, we are here today to find out the pairings for the finals of the Global Film Challenge. More than 350 teams participated, and today we will know who the final 16 teams are and how they will be paired up for voting. Let's do a quick recap of the semifinal round and let you know which cities are going on to represent their countries in the finals. A few countries only had one city participate, and those city winners are in the finals already. Those countries are Bonaire, Bolivia, Canada, Colombia, Mexico, Poland, Portugal, Slovakia, Spain, and Uruguay.
Right, and recapping the semifinals voting from the countries with more than one city, Australia had Adelaide versus Brisbane, with Adelaide coming out on top. In Scotland, we had Edinburgh edging out Glasgow to represent their country. In the Netherlands, we had 3 countries vying for the title. They were Rotterdam, Utrecht, and Eindhoven, with Rotterdam, the site of Filmapalooza 2020 this year, yes, earning the honor of going on to the finals. The City of Lights was paired against Ile-de-France, and the team from Ile-de-France will go on to represent France.
Wow.
And in Japan, it was a close contest between Tokyo and Osaka, but ultimately Osaka was chosen to go on to the finals. Here in the United States, we started out with 23 cities, down to 4, and then down to 2 cities, New Haven and Nashville. Voting ended this morning, and the world is anxiously awaiting the results of that pairing. Here to announce that winner, as well as get the group stage drawings underway, we'd like to welcome the creator of the 48-Hour Film Project, Mark Rupert. Mark?
Hey, Mark.
Robin and
Welcome.
Dwayne.
Hi.
Good to see you all. How are you all
Thank
doing?
you. We're doing well. How are
Doing
you?
well.
Doing well. We're very excited for this day because this is the big day of the first time we're doing a global film challenge this year, of course, and of course the group stages start tomorrow morning. So let's get on with our drawing. But first,
Things are
as
heating
you
up.
noted,
Yeah, it's
So
getting
before
down to it.
before we get on with the drawing, Mark, who's that handsome young fellow standing next to you there?
Well, this is Tommy Rupert, who's head of merchandising for the 48, and he's going to be our impartial observer, and he will be actually doing the drawing when we pull the country names out of the hat.
All right.
Tommy is one heck of a merchandiser as well. He sold me 6 umbrellas in Rotterdam. To be fair, it was raining cats and dogs. So he's an excellent salesperson, and I'm thrilled to have all 6 of my 48-Hour Film Project umbrellas.
Tommy, where can I get a shirt like that?
48hourfilmstore.com. Thanks for asking.
Awesome.
Nice.
Very cool.
All right, so Nashville and New Haven, those were our 2 U.S. finalists, and it was close voting, but I'm here to announce the winner. From Nashville, Mary 01 by Immature Flicks. So congratulations, Immature Flicks, for your film. It is going in to our group stages right here. We'll be doing the drawing in just a minute.
See, now I wish I would have talked to my bookie in Las Vegas at the beginning of this, because who would have thought Nashville would have come out on top? So really, congratulations to Nashville. I'm sure it was a fantastic group of films from what I saw in San Diego. Some
Yeah.
really great films. So they went up against some competition there.
Absolutely. Now let
Okay.
me tell you what we're going to do here. We've got our 48-hour bag, and in the bag are each of the 16 countries that you mentioned at the outset of the broadcast, Wayne. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull them out one at a time, and each one is going to go into a separate group. So the next stage has 4 groupings, 4 groups of 4 teams. When the voting begins tomorrow, the top 2 vote getters in each group will continue on to the quarterfinal rounds. So it's going to be very interesting to see who is paired with who.
All right. Well, we're very excited. I think we are ready for you to start, Mark, whenever you're ready.
All right, so the first group country they're going into Group A. And it is Portugal. Portugal is in Group A.
Portugal, nice.
First one for Group B. Bolivia. It will be Bolivia joining, no, not joining, they're in Group B. First team in Group C is going to be the USA. USA is going to Group C. And finally, Group D is Canada. So we have 2 of our North American countries have been selected. So once again, it's Portugal in Group A, Bolivia in Group B, the USA in Group C, and Canada in Group D.
All right, excellent. So for this year, Dwayne is putting the bracket together so we can have that graphic. And in the meantime, Mark, I just want to talk to you a little bit about sort of a recap of how cool this Global Film Challenge is, that we got all these filmmakers together. This is, other than when we do the Global Film Challenge and then at Filmapalooza, this is kind of a mid-year opportunity for our entire 48-Hour Film Project family to get together, root for each other, see films from other countries. So this is kind of a unique new opportunity for us. Tell us a little bit about that, how this idea come about.
Well, it came about because of the whole impact of the coronavirus this year. And so we did a number of free stuck-at-home challenges in the spring. And we got such a great response, and we heard our filmmakers were very eager to compete against each other. So this was an idea that had been a long time in the making, and we created this new website, Cinema 48. And back the very first weekend of June, we had the 383 teams in 44 cities around the world all competed to make a film. Then, on the local level, the judges in each city selected their city winners. So that then led to last week's voting to determine the country winners. And here we are today with our 16 country winners.
Which is super exciting. And I've spent a little bit of time sort of researching about a lot of these countries, and it's pretty exciting to see. I actually we went online and sort of started looking about the different countries just to find some interesting information. And Dwayne, why don't you start off? Tell us a little bit about Portugal, which is our first one.
Sure, let me pull up the little thing here for Portugal. Oh, okay. See, she gave me a really tough one.
Well, that's the name of the film. I don't
Okay.
know how to pronounce
All
it, and Portuguese
All right.
is difficult to pronounce for me.
All right,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
gonna Englishize this. Garfo por Coler. Hopefully that was right. By Take W, Portugal is the oldest country. By Take W,
Yep.
Portugal is the oldest country in Europe. It has the same defined borders since 1139. The oldest bookstore in the world is in Portugal's capital of Lisbon. Bertrand Bookshop was established in 1732. I wonder if they still have like one of the first books was in there.
Oh no, that's pretty interesting.
Probably
though.
pretty
I
valuable.
know a lot of these facts are pretty cool.
Portugal is one of the world's top surf spots. I had no idea.
No, me
I guess-
neither.
I guess after, North Shore in Hawaii, right?
Yeah, no, this is pretty cool.
And the country has a coastline that spans 497 miles. And for people who are not in this country, that would be 800 kilometers.
Right, for most of the world
Yes.
that operates on the
Yes.
correct and more easily understood metric system.
And maybe
Yeah.
the reason why that it is one of the surf capitals of the world is because it has 364 days of surfing
Right.
available.
That's
So-
one less than a whole year.
Yeah, and I wonder what day that is.
I don't know. Probably June 3rd.
Yeah, I'm
Probably.
guessing June. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably a
it's-
good.
or the 4th.
Yeah, or
maybe,
the 4th.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
All right.
Bolivia, you guys check this out. From Bolivia, we have a film called Without Escape by Cosas Films. Bolivia has a rainfall of more than 5 meters per year. And for those of us not on the metric system, that's about 15 feet of rain. That's a lot of rain.
That's a lot of rain.
Madidi National Park in Bolivia is one of, if not the most biodiverse national park on Earth. They have more than 90 species of bats. And did you know, Dwayne, that of all the mammals on Earth, bats are 25% of them? Isn't that amazing?
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I mean,
I was pretty surprised when I found that out.
You've seen when the bats come out of the cave in some of those caves, and
Yep.
it's just like it looks like a tornado.
Yes,
of-
it does.
of
Like
bats.
like
Yeah.
it darkens the sky. Yeah. So of all the mammals on Earth, bats comprise 25% of those. Bolivia has over 30 official languages, which is pretty interesting too. And it's also home to the world's largest salt flat, which is more than 10,000 square kilometers or about 4,000 square miles. Also pretty cool. There's some cool facts in this about the United States. I'm not sure
Okay.
if you knew them, but we're going to find out right now.
All right. So for Group C, drawing for Group C, position number 1, United States, Mar-E-01 by Immature Flicks. Okay, there have been 27 versions of the official flag of the United States.
Mhm.
And with DC statehood on the line, we could be looking at 28.
Maybe.
So I wonder how they would.
Maybe. I don't know. It
wonder
passed the
how-
House.
What they would do with the star.
Yeah, how they, I
or-
mean, I'm sure they would
Yeah,
figure it out.
yeah.
I'm sure they would figure it out.
So what's the tallest monument in the United States?
You know this. I know you
do
know
know
this.
one. Coming in at 600 and something feet, 632
Yep, 34
feet
or
tall.
something like that, yeah.
34, yeah. We've been to the top of it.
Yep,
It's a Gateway Arch in San Diego or St. Louis,
Yep.
not San Diego. That'd be awesome to visit.
it would be.
We need to make one out.
No, I mean, considering its
Yeah.
meaning, there
Right.
as the gateway to the West, that's important.
And it marks the gateway to the west, and right on the Mississippi River,
Mhm.
downtown St. Louis. Underneath the arch is the Museum of the Jefferson Expansion.
Right, with a bison in it.
Right. So another thing, the most visited museum in America, what do you think that is?
Oh, I know, because I put this thing together. But I would bet you would guess this, because this is your favorite
This-
one.
Yes,
Yeah.
we visited this not that long ago.
Yep.
The Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum
Right.
is second only to the Louvre in attendance worldwide.
Yes, and fun fact, I was just at the Louvre, and for the second time I visited the Louvre and was shut out of the Louvre because of a labor strike, unfortunately. So
Ah.
I've been there twice, in my life, I've yet to get inside the Louvre. So
There's a
hopefully
lot of fine
next
art
time.
waiting for you.
There is, I know. Next time we'll get there.
And then last little factoid, two little factoids. There are about 3 billion pizzas per year sold in the
That's a lot
in
of
the
pizza.
U.S.
Yep.
And the state of Alaska
Mm-hmm.
has a longer coastline than all other 49 states put together.
Alaska has a lot of coastline, and the
So,
islands that are off
Does
Alaska
that
too.
include DC state coastline? Because
DC.
it's got a coastline. I mean, it's got
It's
the
not added in
Potomac
yet.
River and,
It does. You're right.
All right,
It does,
so
but it's
there's-
not added in yet to this.
All right.
So maybe we'll
Okay.
have to see if it
Well, maybe we can
resets.
add a coastline into
Yep.
it. Okay.
All right.
So I think we're ready to go back to Mark for the second set of drawings for Group A, B, C, and D, position number 2. Mark, are you ready?
We are ready. Let's go to
All right.
the second team in each group.
Okay.
And going to Group A, number 2. The Netherlands will be joining Portugal in Group A. Group B, Australia will be going against Bolivia in Group B. Group C, we're going to add Colombia to the mix. Colombia will be in the USA's group. And finally, for this round, Group D will be getting Uruguay. So Canada and Uruguay are currently in Group D. So what's shaping up here so far, Robin, is in Group A, we've got an all-European group so far. The others have a nice diversity in each of them.
All different
Yes, I
languages.
definitely see that. This is going to be super exciting as it continues to pan out. Mark, what can you tell us about, I know the 48-hour film project tour for 2020 has already started and in some cities. And so a lot of us are making adjustments this year, including making sure that we have virtual options so all of our filmmakers feel safe and comfortable to participate in the 48-hour film project this year. What can you tell us about how different a Filmapalooza might look for this next year? And I know you're probably not ready to announce where it might be, but are we still planning on having a Filmapalooza in 21? And how might that look a little different considering the filmmaking limitations that are going on right now?
Sure. So, as everybody knows, with events at this time, it's difficult to tell anything. We are basically, to be able to plan an event in March, it's still too early. Not enough is known. Of course, we're having an increase in the coronavirus in parts of our country, so that's on hold at this point. What we do know is we will be having a Filmapalooza. The only question is the timing. So as soon as we know that, we will be sharing it, but I'm guessing it's going to be in the October timeframe. What the impact of the pandemic is having on our entire tour is that we've pushed many of our cities to the fall, and it's going to be on a case-by-case basis for each of our cities. So people need to stay tuned to 48hourfilm.com. On their city pages, we'll have all the latest information. We're also taking extra precautions this year to ensure that people stay safe. So the kickoff events are going to be not mandatory attendance this year, and the drop-off events will also have a virtual option. So we're not going to force people together when it doesn't make sense.
All right, so just to be clear, people can attend a kickoff and a drop-off if they want, but those are optional attendance, and they can still do a kickoff without being in attendance and still do a drop-off virtually.
That's right. We'll have more details on that coming soon.
Perfect. So Dwayne and I just announced our dates, which we did push into the fall, and we know a lot of cities have done that. We're looking forward to seeing when all of our, our sister cities
Right.
are going to be holding their 48s this year. We know it means a lot of us will be closer together, but I think that this filmmaking community is strong, and we will come through this, and we'll have some really, really great films to look at Filmapalooza next year, whenever that should happen.
All right.
You want
So
to?
let's bring the graphic up real quick. I'm updating this live, which is what I'm doing on my laptop. So this graphic shows the current Group A, B, C, D setup.
There it is.
So as we can take a look at that, we'll go over these independently one at a time at the end of the program, just so that we get a good look at Group A, B, C, and D by themselves. But there you go. There's the graphic for the for the current drawings at the time. And
Okay.
Robin, do you want to tell us about the Netherlands?
I do. I was just in the Netherlands for Filmapalooza, and I have to tell you what a beautiful, beautiful country it is. And we had such an amazing time. We got to go to Amsterdam and Rotterdam as part of the trip to Filmapalooza, and I was thrilled to be there. So they were the hosts of Filmapalooza 2020, the city of Rotterdam. The film that'll be representing the Netherlands, boy, I'm gonna butcher this, and I'm sorry. Nachtwandeling by Schöneschein.
That sounds pretty
Productions.
good.
I apologize, guys. My
I
Dutch
think you were a
is
native speaker with that.
my Dutch is horrible. Did you guys know that the Netherlands has the highest population density in Europe, which is pretty interesting, and they have more bikes than people.
Wow.
They have 18 million bikes and about 17 million people. CDs, DVDs, and Blu-rays all developed in the Netherlands, which is kind of cool. And there are still more than 1,000 windmills standing from the year 1850. It is Pride Month right now, and so it's important to note that the Netherlands was the first country in the world to legalize same-sex marriage. Go Netherlands. And when Prince Willem-Alexander was crowned in 2013, it marked the end of 3 generations of female monarchs there, spanning back to 1890 in the Netherlands. And the national color of the Netherlands is, do you know this? I know you looked at my paper, so I know you know.
I looked,
it's orange.
yes.
It's orange, like when, their World Cup team, their football team wears orange, and it's because of the family's royal house. They're the House of Orange. And so that's why the national color of the Netherlands is orange.
Very cool.
Yep.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Australia, one of my favorite countries. I've been there 3 times. Would so move there if I needed to, because it is almost exactly like San Diego. Australia is sort of
I've
like
heard
San
it's
Diego,
beautiful.
but
Yeah.
with better public transportation. So for representing Australia in this next round of voting is Sell It by Unseen City. Australia is home to the Great Barrier Reef, one of the 7 wonders of the world. The largest ecosystem in the world, which is made up of 2,500 individual reefs and visible from space. I'd like to see it from space.
I know.
would
I know you
totally
would.
dig
I know
seeing
you
it from
would. Yeah,
space,
you would totally sign up for that.
All right. Here, it's home to 21 of the 25 most venomous snakes in the world. So, not digging that so much.
And big
but-
spiders too big.
But balancing that out,
Yes.
there are 60 types of kangaroos.
I didn't know that. That was pretty fascinating.
Yes.
That's a lot.
A baby kangaroo is called a joey.
Mhm.
And when it's born, it's 2 centimeters long.
That's tiny. That's
Yeah.
under an inch for those of you
That's
who don't
very
use
close
metric.
to 2 centimeters for someone who did not grow up in the metric system.
Yeah, tiny.
Have you ever seen the inside of a kangaroo pouch?
I have.
It's crazy looking.
Yeah.
It's
It
crazy.
is. It's weird. Yeah.
Look it up. Wait, you don't want to unsee it, but look it up. Okay, there are over 300 languages and dialects spoken in Australia, including 25 indigenous languages.
Right. It's a
All
pretty
right.
cool country.
Let's hear about Colombia.
Colombia. Okay. The film representing Colombia is La Caída de la Soberanía by La Lata Producciones. Colombia is located on the northwestern tip of South America, and they're home to more than 1,900 species of birds, which is pretty cool. Graffiti and street art are prolific throughout the capital city of Bogota, which is also the street art is sponsored and encouraged by the government, which is really cool. So the art is just right out there in the open for everyone to see. Colombia, as we know, is famous for its coffee and also for its emeralds. An international singer-songwriter, Shakira, she's from Colombia. I learned about this part when I was attending, parents attend class with kids with our older son, Joshua. She started a foundation called the Barefoot Foundation, or Fundación Pies Descalzos, which has funded 7 schools and revitalized cafeterias and other resources in additional schools. So she's very, very prolific in philanthropy there in Colombia. So reinvesting in education and in schools. So that's really fantastic.
Awesome. So let's move on to the last of the drawings for position 2 in each of the things is Uruguay with Lily by Censor Rodo. Uruguay's national anthem, which lasts almost 6 minutes, is the longest in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the first World Cup ever took place in Uruguay in 1930, and Uruguay also happened to win. So that's fantastic. Congratulations to those guys. Let's see, how long was that? 90 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. The Uruguayan football team won Olympic gold in 1924 and 1928. and there are more sheep and cattle in Uruguay than humans.
Yep.
Wow,
Big livestock country.
that's a lot of methane. They were the first country in
and that's just
in
the
the-
humans.
yeah. Let's not count the cows. They were the first country in the world to provide a free laptop and Wi-Fi access to all school children. So way
Right.
to go,
Again,
Uruguay.
yeah.
Way to
Very,
go.
very forward thinking.
Let's go back to the
Yay!
drawing room.
Here we go.
Hello, Mark.
All right, hello again. All right, we are up to third team in each of our 4 groups. So let's go to Group A, third team. And it is Poland will be joining Portugal and the Netherlands in Group A. Group B, Bonaire in the Caribbean. Caribbean island will be joining Group B. In Group C, we have Slovakia. Slovakia was our wild card group winner, so they came in to the country stage that way. And Group D, Japan from Osaka will be joining Canada and Uruguay in Group D. So right now, we're looking very diverse, except for Group A. Group A is still all European, but everything else, we've got quite a disparate group. I mean, Group D, we're looking at Canada, Uruguay, and Japan, 3 separate continents. USA, Colombia, Slovakia. In Group C, again, we're in 3 separate continents. And Bolivia, Australia, and Bonaire, also 3 separate continents. So a lot of diversity, which really reflects the whole 48-hour film project. We are in, on an average, 115 cities around the world each year, with 5,000 filmmaking teams taking part. So we're always so proud of our teams and eager to share our films with everyone. So not only can you go to cinema48.com and watch and vote for your films as part of the Global Film Challenge, but we also have our YouTube channel, which is 48 HFP Central, which has a great selection of films as well.
Mark, tell me a little bit about if I live in a city where there isn't a 48-hour film project, but I'm considering trying to bring one there. How would somebody contact you, or what would be the process to bring the 48-hour film project to a new city?
Well, the best thing is to go to our website, 48hourfilm.com, and there you'll find a link, a button that you can press for information about bringing the 48 to your city. We send you information, give you all the details of what it takes to be a city producer. You've got to be an event person. You've got to have a passion for film. These are the essential ingredients about it. And then we interview people, send them a contract, and sign them up. So we're excited that next year already, we know we're going to be back in Brazil for the first time in a number of years. We've also added Accra in Ghana. So the list of 48-hour cities continues to grow.
That's fantastic. Mark, I have the graphic done, so the graphic's been updated with this latest draw, so we can pull that up. But while that's up on screen, I want to ask you, this is the 20th anniversary of the 48-hour film project, and 20 years ago, when you did this just as a lark on the weekend, did you expect that it would get as big as it is?
Absolutely not. I mean, we didn't even know at that point whether it was possible to make a film in 48 hours, let alone think that it would happen again. In 2001, we did it twice here in DC. Then in 2002, we were in 6 separate cities. And for the last 5 or 6 years, we've been in over 100 cities each year.
Wow, that's fantastic. I hope one day, I've never seen the first ever 48, so if that's still available, I'd love to see that. But let's go over a rundown for each of these countries. Robin, you want to start with Poland?
Sure I do. This is a country I would really love to visit someday. I have friends who live there, and this is somewhere I've never been, but I'd love to go to Poland. The film representing Poland this year is called Disconnected by Grupa Filmowa Deadline. There's some cool facts about Poland. Marie Curie, who her last name is French, but she was actually Polish, and she was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, and she was the first person and only woman to win twice. She won that Nobel Prize in 2 different sciences, physics and chemistry. Poland is home to one of Europe's oldest restaurants in a city called Wrocław, and that restaurant has been there since, check this out, 1275.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's over 700 years old, and you can still eat there today. And there's a really gigantic salt mine near the city of Krakow that extends 190 miles in length, which is really interesting. And it drops to a depth of almost 500 feet. So there's a ton of beautiful, we've seen lots of beautiful films come out of Poland for the 4 Points Film Project. The landscape is beautiful. The architecture is beautiful. The people are lovely and warm. And I'd love to visit there someday.
Yeah,
That would be very cool.
Sounds great. I wonder if that restaurant is still serving some of the same dishes that they did when they first opened.
Like the same exact ones?
Well,
or like,
no, I mean,
like updated.
yeah, updated.
Like freshly made.
Imagine it might be a little dry if it's, that long. So moving on to Bonaire, Speranza by team, and I'm going to totally butcher this.
Gisberta.
Thank you. Gisberta. So Bonaire is a Dutch island in the Caribbean Sea with a population of approximately 20,000 people. So wow, that's fantastic.
That's smaller than the city that I live in. That's fewer people than the city that I live in
that's
here
crazy.
in San Diego. Yeah.
They're committed to maritime life preservation and a leader in natural conservation and ecological responsibility. In 1969, they established a flamingo nesting preserve, the first of its kind in the Caribbean. The island is 38.6 kilometers long, or 24 miles, by 4.8 or 8, 4.8 to 8 kilometers wide, I guess.
Yeah, wide.
Or about 3 to 5 miles wide. So it is a very, very tiny place.
Right.
But
And-
they are really like moving ahead.
Right.
So
Right.
that's
And
fantastic.
they have a fantastic city producer, Dennis, and we know him from being city producers, and they're really moving forward with their filmmaking. And then also it's just such a beautiful country. I love looking at Dennis's photos because I mean, it's a paradise. It's a beautiful paradise. So yeah, very, very cool. And Bonaire is going to be well represented by this film.
Well, I wish them well in the competition for sure.
Yes. From Slovakia, we have a film called YOLO, which stands for what? Do you know what YOLO stands for?
You only no.
You only live once?
Yes.
You only
I
live
was so
once.
close.
By Film SRO.
I was 50%
You were close.
there.
You were close. Slovakia has, this is cool, the largest number of castles and chateaux per capita in the world. And they have 180 castles and 425 chateaux. But their country is about the size of New York City. So it's amazing to have that much architecture and beautiful castles and chateaux in an area that size. The capital city of Bratislava is the only capital city in the world that borders 2 other countries, which is Austria and Hungary. As we know, that region went through a lot of change over the years. And so this country now, Slovakia, is just adjacent to Austria and Hungary. There are over 6,000 caves and 1,300 mineral springs in Slovakia.
Wow,
I
wow.
know. I'd love to visit. I was looking at pictures.
That's a lot
of
of
it.
spelunking.
That is a lot of spelunking. That's like a ton of spelunking. Andy Warhol was Slovakian.
Really?
Yeah, which I
had
did not
no
know. I
idea.
found that out too. Yeah, very, very cool. So good luck to Slovakia in the competition.
All right.
One
And
last
then
city.
Japan. So representing Japan is Retake by Produces. And some interesting facts about Japan is Tokyo is the capital city of Japan and is host to the 2020 Olympic Games, which will take place next summer. Japan is made up of more than 6,800 islands. And in Japan, Kit Kat candy bars come in flavors like grilled corn, camembert cheese, Earl Grey tea, grape, and wasabi. I have actually had the wasabi,
Yep.
and they aren't also awful at all. So they're pretty good.
Oh, they're pretty yummy.
In Japan, black cats are considered a sign of good luck. So up until recently, I had good luck for about 20 years with a cat.
Your
so,
sweet cat, yes.
yeah. Haiku poetry, developed in Japan, is the world's shortest form of poetry.
Right. And normally it's centered around nature, but I wrote a little haiku for us for
Oh,
today.
okay.
That's what we
That's
have here.
what's at the bottom here.
Yes.
Global Film Challenge. Filmmakers worldwide compete. Who will win the prize?
There we go.
There we go. An official Global Film Challenge haiku.
Haiku, right.
Thank you, Robin.
You're welcome.
All right, so we go back to the drawing room?
Yes, are we ready? This is
Yes.
the last group.
The last group. Welcome, Mark. Oh,
Oh, we can't hear Mark. We'll
we
give it
lost
just
Mark's
a second.
audio. Give us a second, Mark.
Testing.
There we
There
go.
he
You're
is.
back.
All right. Before we get to the final group or final teams of the drawing, I was just saying that I appreciate this history lesson. And next time, Robin, if we could have a haiku about the Camembert cheese Kit Kat, that would be perfect. All
You
right.
can absolutely have that. No problem.
She's working on it right
Who
now
are
while you're
our
talking.
Who are our final teams? Going into Group A, we have Mexico. We will be adding to Group A. Group B, the next country to add is Spain. We'll be going to Group B. Group C is getting France. France will be joining Group C. And finally, Group D, rounding out our 16 teams, we have Scotland. Scotland is our final country there. So we did not get an all-European Group A. We have 3 Europeans and Mexico from North America. Going into taking a look at Group B, 4 completely different continents, which is fantastic. Same thing in Group C with the addition of France to the USA, Colombia, and Slovakia. And then rounding everything out in Group D, we have Canada, Uruguay, Japan, and Scotland. So once again, teams from every 4 different continents. So it's going to be fascinating. I am not seeing a group, the group of death here. I'm seeing some pretty evenly spaced groups, and not one that I feel is overly weighted with traditionally strong countries. So it's going to be great to see what the audience around the world is going to do with these films. I also want
This
to remind
is super exciting. And since we're looking at all these international films, Mark, I know you've been to all the Filmapaloozas, and you're directly responsible for making sure that these happen and where they take place. Tell us some of your favorite moments or locations or events from Filmapaloozas over the 20 years. I won't ask you to pick a favorite because that would be impossible, but maybe just a few favorite moments.
Even talking about them is almost impossible. It was very exciting the first year. We were actually at South by Southwest. We only had 10 or 12 films that year, and so we fit into a single screening in Austin, and that was really fantastic. But that was the last year we could go because we outgrew that festival. We then partnered with Cinequest in San Jose for 3 years, and that was great. We did another 2 years at the Miami International Film Festival, and after that is when the Filmapalooza was born as an event produced by the 48 Hour Film Project and hosted as our own festival. So it's been in great locations over the years. We've been at the Chinese Theater in LA a couple of times, Seattle, Atlanta, Paris, and as you mentioned, Rotterdam. So really, the thing I'd like to tell filmmakers about the most is that it is a great 4-day event where you get to meet like-minded filmmakers from around the world. These are all people who share the same passions that you do, and you just rarely get this opportunity to experience 4 days of camaraderie. As we've had several filmmakers talk about, they've called it that Filmapalooza is like the Olympic Village for filmmakers. So if you ever can get a chance to go to Filmapalooza, I encourage you to join us.
Yeah, definitely. I've been to several since I became a city producer, and I've been to Seattle, I've been to Los Angeles, Orlando. I didn't make it to Paris, unfortunately. Our filmmakers did, though, and they almost overslept. So it's kind of interesting watching the filmmakers. Some people are coming from internationally when they come here, or we are coming from internationally when we go over there. And just watching everybody try to get on the same page is very, very interesting and cool. And I learn something new every year, just, talking to the filmmakers, watching the films that they bring with them, and just seeing their enthusiasm is super exciting. And Dwayne and I, producers of the 4 Points Film Project, we don't always have the opportunity, which is all online, of course. So this year it was super cool. I got to meet Alex Giannopoulos, who is a filmmaker who's done the 4 Points many times, but I've never met him in person because we don't have that opportunity. So it's been pretty interesting and cool, and I'm sure it is for you too when you go around and visit the cities. I know you always attend when it's a first year in a city. Somebody from headquarters goes, and then you guys take advantage of meeting the new filmmakers and the new city producers. And it's really interesting to see the way that culture comes through in film, the way that even education comes through in film. Because in Rotterdam, I was really pleasantly surprised, I guess, but also just super impressed with their film school, where we had a lot of our city producer meetings. They have an entire film school right there in Rotterdam. And we have a lot of film schools here in the US too, but the emphasis on really learning and honing the craft is really interesting around the world. And the differences in the emphasis of the craft around the world is pretty cool too.
So I have just about done with the graphic to get that up on screen so we can see the complete.
Well, you know what? Can I start talking about the last group of cities?
Of course.
Okay, let's start there. I'm going to talk about Mexico City. Mexico City is, of course, in Mexico, the capital city. And the film that is representing Mexico is called Roulette by Detonante. Mexico City, which is, again, the capital city, it's the home of the largest 48-hour film project in the world with more than 200 teams. It's pretty amazing, and it's also a huge goal for a lot of us here in around the world trying to beat Mexico City in the number of teams, but it seems near impossible. They're huge. The very first printing press in North America was used in Mexico City in the 1500s. And you'll like this fact. The meteorite that was responsible for the extinction of the dinosaurs landed in Mexico on the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yucatan Peninsula, yes.
And Mexico is home to the largest pyramid in the world, whereas some people think that might be in Egypt. It's not. It's in Mexico. It's also home to the largest and longest underwater cave system in the world.
Wow.
Yep. They have the highest number of museums per capita in the Americas, too. Second highest in the world, only to London, but highest number of museums. So culture, family, and it's both very, very important in Mexico. And we see great films coming out of Mexico City every year. And they are the goal for the 48-hour film project producers to try to get as many teams as they have.
Wow.
Who do you have?
I have Spain. So let's talk about Spain. Girasoles El Saturno by
Ora Baixa.
Thank you, Producciones. Even though the restaurant in Warsaw, Poland claims to be the oldest restaurant in the world.
This is interesting.
That title has been awarded by Guinness World Records to Restaurante Botín, which has been open since 1725. The signature dish, Cochinillos asado, which is roast suckling pig. Mm-hmm. Spanish is the world's second most widely spoken language, with Mandarin being the second most widely spoken.
Mandarin's the most.
I'm sorry, with Mandarin being the most widely spoken language.
This is cool.
And here's an interesting fact. There are no laws about public nudity in Spain, and about half of all the olive oil in the world is produced in Spain. Yeah. No laws.
No laws about public nudity.
Okay.
So
add that to my...
Do with that what you will. All right, France. Well, from Ile-de-France, we have a film named, the film is called Alice by Beer Leader. France was the home of Filmapalooza 2018, which was a beautifully hosted event by Olivier, who is the city producer there, and his whole team. France is the world's most popular tourist destination. It's the first country in the world also, this is very cool, to ban supermarkets from throwing away unused food or throwing away or burning unused food. They have to donate it to food banks and shelters, which helps everyone in France. The Tour de France, which is that 23-day bike race, right, the big bike race that we watch every year. It first took place 117 years ago, which is kind of interesting. July 1st, coming up on their 117th anniversary here, started in 1903. And there are over 1,200 varieties of cheese made in France. How much do you think all that cheese weighs every year that's made in France every year?
You want it in tons or metric tons?
Tons.
I would say 7.5 million tons.
No, it's a billion. A billion
I
tons.
was so close.
You were this far away from the right answer. Yeah, a billion tons of cheese. That is
that's
so
a lot
much
of
cheese.
cheese.
Yeah, it'd be worth going back
It's
to
like
France.
this stream right now. There's a lot of cheese.
Super cheese. Yeah, big time, big time. All right.
Okay.
France was beautiful too. We were just there as part of the Rotterdam trip.
The last draw today was Scotland. So with representing Scotland is Ambushed by Cola Films.
Mm-hmm.
The national animal of Scotland is the unicorn.
Which is so cool.
That's actually very cool.
Yeah, it is.
I'm loving Scotland even more now
Yeah.
than I did before. Scotland inhabits part of the island of Great Britain, but it has more than 800 offshore islands of its own, and about 700 of those are uninhabited. Isn't that what? Didn't they do the Star Wars thing from Scotland?
I think that was Iceland.
Oh, well, that's
I think.
too bad. Okay.
Well, yeah, Iceland,
maybe,
I think.
Okay. So, home of the world's shortest commercial passenger flight at 47 seconds
Yep.
between two of the Orkney Islands,
Mm-hmm.
Westray and Papa Westray. The modern game of golf was developed in Scotland. That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And the Royal and Ancient Golf Club of St. Andrews is the world's governing body of golf.
Mm-hmm.
Golf has been played in Scotland since the Middle Ages. And also there are an estimated 3,000 castles in Scotland. And that's like more castles than there are islands.
Yeah, that's true.
That's cool. So
That's
you
true.
could have a castle on each island if you really wanted to, if you could like get a house mover to do that for you.
Yep.
Which equals one castle for every 100 square miles of the country in total.
Yeah.
Very
Pretty cool, huh?
Very cool.
Yeah, lots of cool facts
Yeah.
about these countries.
Let's take a look at the big board. How's that? And let's see if we can bring Mark in here. Mark, you have any comments on the big board and lineup? I know you had some really great stuff to say earlier.
Yeah, well, and as I said, it's a lot of great films. It's going to be a lot of viewing opportunities for the worldwide audience. 16 films to work your way through. I want to remind everybody that it's going to be the top 2 vote getters in each of those groups that go on to the quarterfinal stages. So as you're voting, keep in mind that it's the top 2 in each group that will advance to the next round. The voting is actually supposed to begin tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon East Coast U.S. time. So that's when cinema48.com will be live for voting. And that's going to continue through this Thursday. So you have about 4 days to get your votes in for the group stage rounds.
That will go against each other. Is that correct?
I missed the beginning of your question, but no, if you have first and second in Group A will not go against each other. They will be divided into different groups. So we will have different matchups for the quarterfinals.
Okay.
Right. That was exactly my question, and you answered it. This is super exciting. And I was super excited to learn about these countries. It's pretty cool stuff, huh?
Yeah, it's very cool stuff.
Yeah, this
Very
drawing
cool.
has been a lot of fun.
Yep.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
it's been
All right.
great.
So, Mark,
Yeah.
when voting will go live tomorrow at noon Eastern U.S. time, and then filmmakers will have just a couple days to vote. So we encourage everyone to go to cinema48.com so you can view these films and vote. And Mark, I know we had a lot of filmmakers asking your plan for after the competition is all over. I had heard maybe making all the city winners available again so that people can view all of the city winners from around the world once the competition is over. Is that right?
That's exactly right. We'll get all the films back up online so people can watch them on either Cinema 48 or on the YouTube channel. So one way or the other, we do want to get these films back out to our global audience, and so everybody can view them. And here again, you can see our groups. And it's gonna, I don't know what to say. I've been surprised by the audience voting so far, so it'll be interesting to see which of these films advance to the next round. And people can go to the YouTube channel again. That's where we will be announcing the winners of the group stages. So check out 48HFP Central. Find out
Yeah,
your
I think
winners.
I think at this point, I mean, it's such a diverse group of countries, and I mean, the only thing that you can say at this point is good luck to everyone.
Right.
And for the people who are going to be voting, we hope that's everyone that's watching, and please let your friends and family know, especially if you have a country in this competition, which most people probably do. Then make sure you go on cinema48.com, vote for your country that's representing you, and man, can't wait to see what happens next. So
Yeah, we're
the two
excited.
winners from Group A will get paired up with, or not paired up, but they'll go up head to head against
One of
other
the winners
groups,
from another
and
group,
I mean, and not in a direct head to head. So it's going to be really, really an interesting competition to see how that plays out.
Yep, and we look forward to being back with you for that next set of drawings and to announce the next stage of
Yes.
filmmakers that will be competing against
Yes.
each other. And hopefully we'll learn some more interesting facts, and maybe we'll get to talk to some of the filmmakers as we kind of winnow down this group.
I
That
can't
would be
wait
cool.
to have a viewing party with
Yes.
the winning film.
Yeah,
That's
that'll be
gonna
great.
awesome. That's going to be so cool. So I want to thank Mark
Yes,
for joining us on this stream and for
And
doing
Tommy.
the draw, and Tommy.
who he's apparently
Yes.
gotten rid of.
I think he went off to order my shirt for me. So
Well,
that's
I
really
just
great.
want to say, Dwayne and Robin, I want to thank you for your great job hosting us, and Joe at Chill Events, thank you for this broadcast, and we hope that all the teams enjoy this excitement of learning who they're going up against, and
Yes.
we'll be back here back at the end of the week to let you know what's happening next.
All right.
Fabulous.
And I'd
So-
also like to send another shout out to CG Creative Studios for letting us use this space here and the bandwidth, and they've been super supportive. So thank you very much to CG Creative Studios and Claudio Gutierrez.
And everyone in Australia, please go back to sleep and get
Yes.
some more rest.
Yes.
And everybody in the US, let's get ready to start voting around the world so we can look at all these films. Thank you for being with us today, everyone.
All right. Thank you so much. So should I end with?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Thank you all very much, everyone. I'm going to stop the streams now.